Hello folks, and welcome to this week's Music Alerts. This week, well, lots of CDs for you, but let's start with a book from Steve Wynn. Now, I have a promo physical copy of this particular book, as you can see. It is called, I wouldn't say it if it wasn't true, A Memoir of Life, Music and the Dream Syndicate by Steve Wynn. Now, Wynn was the leader of that indie band called Dream Syndicate, and you might know them. I hadn't heard of the band name for many, many years. I knew them back in the 80s as a sort of indie rock band from the album, their debut, called The Days of Wine and Roses. They sounded like a cross between Velvet Underground, which was a definite and conscious influence, and, well, to me, Lloyd Cole and the Commotions, which I'm guessing was not. So what we have here is a book entitled, as I say, I wouldn't say it if it wasn't true, published by Jawbone and described as a memoir. So be prepared for a list of memories, therefore, spanning 248 pages, including a select discography, which I've got to say always bothers me. Do or don't is what I say. Give me a complete discography or don't bother. Don't give me a select anything. It's a waste of time. The book itself, which features a host of photographs corralled in the middle, we learn that Wynn was a quiet kid, a loner, a child of divorced parents who grabbed his first guitar at the age of 9 and created music to keep up with his influences. Oh, and to impress the girls, of course. Then we run through his time as a DJ meeting Alex Chilton and why he avoided his heroes from that point onward. Starting the band, the success of the same, starting a label, being part of the Paisley underground scene that grew around the LA area in the 80s, infusing guitar noise with vocal harmonies and psychedelia, and coming over all birds-like. Also, how when their female band member Kendra left, the entire band changed, which is a lesson for every other band currently on the planet. It certainly was for Wynn. Then there's supporting and being embarrassed in front of U2, touring with REM, and just how Wynn interacted with the music business and music itself, and how all of that wore him down over time. This is an informative look at the life of a musician and his band. This is a behind-the-scenes look that should be read by any prospective rock star. First up on the curation label is Beachwood Sparks' new album, called Across the River of Stars, which is what, their first album in 12 years, I think. This is a relatively laid-back, easy, does-it psychedelia piece, fronted with a simple, almost conversational lead vocal. Conversational because it's relatively stripped, there's no histrionics. The song pushes thoughts and feelings in your direction in a basic and melodic fashion. It's almost as if the band were on the opposite side of a table in Starbucks, while you respond with things like, yes, yes, I know, absolutely, you're so right. Next, 2 multi-gatefold digipack presentations from Rhythm Bomb. These are both new albums and contemporary bands. The first is Knockout Greg and the Blue Flames, a rather amazing name, and serves me right to suffer. This is a 10-tracker of blues-drenched R&B of varying tempos, supported by harmonica flavors and a worn-at-the-edges vocal. This is fun. Even the emotive and sad stuff is fun. Actually, engaging. Maybe that's a better word for it. Also look out for Shakedown Tim and the Rhythm Review. Where do they get these names from? Who pushes his funky, melodic, dirty blues vocal through a treated, distorted filter, giving you a slightly misshapen blues experience. Blues viewed through the bottom of a glass, you might say. And while we're on the subject, speaking of blues, more classic piano-based outings from the genre via Avid, and a 4-album collection. That is, this is a 2-disc package. And you get Leroy Carr and Blues Before Sunrise, a 1962 reissue that in itself looked at mid-30s vocalion recordings from Carr, Next is Speckled Red and the Dirty Dozens from 1961. There is Roosevelt Sykes and the Honey Dripper from 1962, and Little Brother Montgomery and Tasty Blues from 1961. Again, great value from Avid. A new album now from the folk Implosion, and this one is called Walk Through Me, contained within a gatefold digipack, and the first album from the band in over, well, in excess of 20 years. This one takes an almost easygoing alt-rock viewpoint of their music. So what have we got here? Well, we don't really have a punky attitude. We don't have really a grungy aesthetic. We have a easygoing alt-rock viewpoint of their music. There is a host of ideas here, but the ideas are more important than any prospective anger or angst. Next up, we have folk rock man Bob Lind. Do you remember the classic Elusive Butterfly? That was Bob Lind. He is on the Ace label here with a new album called Something Worse Than Loneliness. This is the third album by Lind in recent times. I want to say recent times, I mean after 2010, that kind of recent. He's done 3 albums in that time. Now, this is not the old geezer Weezer's new album in a desperate attempt to gain attention thing. This one sounds like a strong outing from a vital and contemporary artist, providing interesting and accessible songs. It's worth a look. Also from Ace is a 17-track compilation called Fantastic Voyage. This is largely a late 70s, early 80s post-punk and fringe songs of the type that may have influenced David Bowie and who may have been influenced by that same man, because there are a couple of tracks which are rather more recent, post-2000 tracks here, but it's mostly late 70s, early 80s. So you get outings from people like Cabaret Voltaire, Simple Minds, Peter Gabriel, The Associates, and many more. Finally, we have an album called Love Cole Porter from Antonio Adolfo on AAM Music and via a gatefold digipack, packed with 10 Cole Porter tracks. Brazilian Adolfo fronts a jazz group from his home country, apparently, and then he spreads his own arrangement style over classic Porter ditties, such as Easy to Love, Night and Day, I Concentrate on You, and many more, of course. There's a bit of an upbeat tempo going on here, there's a little bit of swing, a little funky movement here and there, a touch of the old bossa. It's all there, and it's very nice as well. And that's it, folks. Thank you very much for staying to the end of this video. Just down below, if you can click on the like and subscribe buttons, that will just help the old channel move along swiftly through the algorithm. Also, if you're in a hi-fi bent, check out my Patreon page. It has an exclusive hi-fi news, etc. video every single week. But there's all kinds of other music stuff over there as well. There's other music bits and pieces on my website. Lots of stuff you won't see over here. I also have a Facebook group which you're welcome to join. I'll be back this time, well, not necessarily this time, but definitely this day next week. And I hope to see you there. Hope to have your company. Until then, folks, bye-bye for now.